All right. Hello, Facebook family. And this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do a slight introduction so that we can see if anyone's live who's going to share this video. And last week, I had Ahmani, our son, share with people about how it is to being on the autism spectrum. And I want to say hello to Kristen Johnson. She met Ahmani way back when he was in P1. So we want to say hello to you. And she remembers Ahmani when he was 5 years old. And then she got to meet you a little bit later. She's a great teacher too, Miss Johnson. We want to say hello to you. She works at Raiden School, and she is a learning support teacher. So we want to say a definite hello to people that are learning support. You recognize Miss Linthwaite?
Yes.
Yeah, Miss Linthwaite has a beautiful granddaughter who's born the same day as Ahmani. Ahmani just came into the world a few hours a little bit earlier. So we want to say hello. Aunt Tammy's watching. Say hi to Aunt Tammy.
Hi.
Yes, we want to say hi to Stuart. I met Stuart the other day in town. He said, hey, good buddy. So we want to say hello to you. But like for you also, those of you that are watching I'm sure you have many Facebook friends. So if you can hit the share button, and if you could just let us know that you are sharing the video, that just helps for us to have the message spread as wide as we can, because what we want to do is help people understand a little bit about autism. Yeah. And this is tell everybody who you are.
My name is Ahmya Gail Peets.
And so this is our little girl, Ahmya Gail. Hello, Miss Philpott. Ahmya, how old are you now?
12.
Ahmya is 12 years old, and for all of those that are listening and watching, when you have a little girl, you have my heart.
Yeah.
You have my heart. Oh, you do. And she is amazing. And today, what we want to do is just to share with everyone in the Facebook land and around the world. It's just what it's like to be a sibling with a brother who has autism. And Ahmya, we were very, very thankful for when Ahmya came into the world, because Ahmya is just, you're invaluable. And what that means to Daddy is that because you are the little sister, and when you came into the world as a baby, did you know if your brother had autism? Nope, he was just your big what? Just your big brother. And when someone's just your big brother, if you wanted something, what do you think you did? Did you ask? You didn't ask. You just took it. Yeah, you just took it. And Ahmani had to decide what he was going to do. And you actually, we credit you with helping to make Ahmani really, really strong. And one of the things that I shared, hello, Miss Dawes.
Miss Dawes.
Yeah, ain't that an awesome teacher there? We love Miss Dawes. We want to say thank you for watching. And what we know is that today we want to just share with everybody what you think, and how you feel, because sometimes someone else, okay, and so we appreciate that people are sharing. And we want to say Gabby, hi to Gabby. Ahmani's up in his bed, so we might bring Ahmani down in a second. And before we really get started into you sharing with people how you feel about having a brother with autism and how you see other people reacting to him, tell everybody about your shirt, because something special happened today with our shirt. Tell everybody, what's that say on your shirt?
We done random acts of kindness with my Pathfinder group, and we gave cookies to bus drivers who went by. We gave roses to people. We gave these cards that show compassion, things that you can do to show compassion.
How did people react? How did they react when you gave them stuff?
They were very happy, excited. We also gave gas vouchers and bus tickets.
That's pretty cool. I could use me some gas vouchers, but that's great. So compassion, what would you say compassion means when you show what?
When you show kindness to someone, anyone.
Show kindness. And I really appreciate Ahmya is a very, very compassionate person, very, very kind person, and very loving. And just for all those that are listening and watching, tell them what does Ahmya mean?
It means beautiful girl and princess.
Yes, beautiful girl. And when we were looking at naming you, what letter did it have to begin with?
A.
Yes. In our family, we are the what family?
A family.
We're the all A family, and so we have just so many people in our lives whose names begin with the letter A. And today, we're just going to share with you for a few minutes a little bit about autism. Last week, we talked about our journey. So how much older is your brother than you?
3 years
He's 3
old.
years older than you. Okay, so when you came and met Ahmani for the first day, you don't remember the first day you met him, but I know somewhere around here are your pictures, right? Yeah. And when
Book is up there.
your book is up there, okay, and you want to show them the first time you met him? Yeah, look at your book. She's gonna show you the picture of when Ahmani first met her. And again, we credit Ahmya with helping Ahmani so much with his language, with his development. And as a little sister, she's not even a little sister really, she's like a big sister. Hello, Lisa. There are certain things that she does to actually make him strong. And, Ahmya kind of like, in America you would say on a football team that you were drafted into this, okay? And that means, just like mommy and daddy, before you were born, we had found out that Ahmani was on the autism spectrum because he was 3, and we had him diagnosed when he was like 2 years old. So show everybody the picture when he first met you. And if you can see the picture, you probably see Ahmani smiling, and Ahmya was making these little squeaking noises. And Ahmani loves sounds, and that's one of the ways we reached Ahmani, by making lots of different sounds. So you could take the picture down. Thank you so much. So, autism, for everybody that's listening, how do you, as a sister, how do you describe autism? What is autism?
Autism is something that makes a person the way how they are, a different way from what normal other people would see.
Yeah, and I like how you self-corrected yourself, because when you say normal, and somebody says normal, Daddy always says, well, what is normal? Are there things that you like? Are there things that you don't like? Yeah, and so if you didn't like something, should I say that you're not normal because you don't like it? Like, do you like ice cream? No, she doesn't like ice cream, okay? And isn't that okay? If I have that in, it's okay. And just like your brother has certain interests, so you would say that a person that is on the autism spectrum, what kind of uniqueness do you see in autistic? Speak about your brother. What kind of uniqueness do you see him display around you?
Well, I see him always playing his tablet and 3DS, and always winning every single game that he plays, and it's hard to beat him when I play with him. I see him, we talk together, hug each other, have fun with each other.
So you love that guy? Yeah. And when you see him watch movies, because sometimes I've seen this kind of like bother you a little bit when he's watching something. What would he do when he's watching something?
He'll go over a part that he likes, and then after when it's finished, he'll go back to the beginning, and then back and back.
So he keeps watching it over and over and over. Do you know what he's doing when he's watching it over and over?
Watching it over.
What do you think he's doing?
Memorizing.
He's memorizing it, okay? And Ahmani will watch things and memorize them completely. And you know that you learn, and everybody sometimes learns in different ways, correct? Okay? And so for Ahmani, you've seen that he would watch something and do it. You might just watch something once or twice. How many times would he watch something?
More than...
Probably thousands of times, right? He would just watch things over and over again. And so you are a sister with a brother on the autism spectrum, and you know that when we describe autism, we just say always unique, totally interesting, and sometimes mysterious. When Ahmani was really, really small, and let's say, did you ever remember him carrying around things?
Yes.
What would he carry around all the time?
He would either carry around a rollers pet shop or a car.
And so I think you have some pet shops over here, so he would show them that. He would carry around things like that, okay? And he would carry those things around. Do you know why he carried those things around? Made him comfortable. It made him feel secure, okay? And did we take things away from him that made him feel secure? No. Now, sometimes I know we do we kind of do a lot of things together?
Yes.
Yeah, we do a lot of things together as a family. What kinds of things do you like that we do together?
We go out to eat. We take a family drive.
Do we go on vacations together?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we always do things together. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm glad you do like that. Now, and sometimes when we're out, when Ahmani was really, really young, what did you notice about the way he would dress?
Tight.
He would have everything really, really tight. Yeah. Did you ever see people react to him or look at him in a strange way? Anything you can remember seeing? People, would they stare at him? Yeah. And how did you feel about that when people would stare at him? Did you feel that was a cool thing for them to do? Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Sad.
Made you feel sad. And you might not remember, because I know, like I've shared with everybody, that when you have a child that is a special child, that you're always watching and you're always making sure that they're safe. You know, Daddy teaches you and Ahmani to be safe and to take care of each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've told him that he's to do what when he's out with you? He's to take care of you. And I told him if something happens, that he's going to need an explanation as to what happened, okay? And you know also that Daddy shared with you that your job is to make sure that you take care of him too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because do you think that there are some situations that can confuse Ahmani a little bit and he might not be too sure about what to do?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're there to make sure that he's safe. So as a sister, I heard you just talk about the fact that when we're out, sometimes you see people, when he was younger, they would look at him in an odd way, or they would stare. And I don't know if you remember one time we were in the mall and these girls were pointing at Ahmani and Daddy.
Granny.
Oh, Granny's watching? Okay, she's supposed to be sleeping. Resting, and that's cool. But do you remember the time when we were in the mall here and these two girls were pointing at Ahmani and Daddy went after them? Do you remember that? Yeah, well, he was pretty young. Daddy was just like, okay, and Ahmani would wear his shirt in his pants and he would wear his, yeah, Mommy's watching. Would he wear his pants really, really tight too? Yeah, super tight, like super tight. And people would point and they would say things about Ahmani. And then this one day, Daddy, I kind of like just had enough of people staring and pointing. And in our family, if I do this, what does that sign mean?
Respect.
Yeah, to be respectful. What did that person say?
She's an awesome sister.
And you are an awesome sister. You're an awesome person. And I always thank you for being just a wonderful person, you know. And if you had to talk to everybody out there or to speak to the entire world, there's a microphone and you can speak to the entire planet. And because you are a little sister, you're 3 years younger than your brother. He's 15 and you are
12.
And you're gonna be a teenager. Every time I say that, she ducks away. But you can't help that. You're gonna be 13, okay? And let's say hi to Brian. Brian is one of the guys that Ahmani races go-karts with. And Ahmani's got to try to catch him. I say, stop driving. Drive faster. But it's cool. And so, because we want to share with everybody, I want you to share with everybody your message as a little sister. What is it that you would like to tell the world about how you need to consider treating a person who's on the autism spectrum? What is it that you want them to know? What is it that you would really appreciate that they do?
Well, I would really appreciate that whenever you see an autistic child, like at my school, when people see my brother, they always, well, especially grade 4 students, they would go and say hi to him and stay with him the entire lunch hour and watch out for him and be with him. So, when you see someone sitting by themselves, you go over to them, invite them in your conversation or whatever you're playing, and just invite them in, talk to them. And
so, like, be friendly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so do you have friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any difficulty socializing with people, talking to them?
Mm-hmm.
You don't. And if we go somewhere with your brother, what do you basically see him do whenever we go out? What do you see him do? Does he go around everybody? Does he go to people? What does he do?
He goes away.
He goes away by himself. And that is just one of the features for Ahmani in autism, in that he kind of like socially, you ever heard of the word overwhelmed? Okay, and so it's like if you have a lot to do, it could just feel like it's just so much pressure, and that's what it's like for him. And it's easy for you. If I asked you to name all your friends, you could be on this for a long, long time, right? Talking about all, am I right? Okay, and because you know how to make friends. If you see someone for the first time, what would you say?
I would say hello.
You would say hello, and if Ahmani sees somebody for the first time, what is he going to do? Is he going to make eye contact and look at them and say hello? He's going to wait for them to do what?
Say hello too.
He's going to wait for. So does he start conversations?
No.
No. And so one of the things when you were little and when you were small, you would just start talking, and you would take stuff from him. And when you would take things from him, you weren't mean about it, but he had a toy that you and it was interesting to you. You would take it, and you know what that would make him do? Talk. It would make him talk. No, Maya, no, Maya, no, Maya, stop, Maya. And you, being the wonderful little sister, would say, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And he was say, no, no, no. And you actually helped Ahmani with a lot of his words. We had special people come in, Daddy's a therapist, and we would help him talk. But you are a big reason why your big brother can talk. And for that we thank you. And we thank you for being kind. So you've shared with everybody the importance of being kind. And I know that I wish it was easy for people to be kind. Why are you kind?
Because it's the right thing to do and the best thing to do.
Say it again.
Because it's the right thing to do and the best thing to do.
So it's kind because it's the right thing to do and the best thing to do. Now I know that in our house we believe in the 10 Commandments, right? And one of the things that we talk about is obedience, right? Okay. And you know that Daddy has shared with you that if you obey, you live long, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't obey, it's not even a good feeling, right? Not at all. So as a sister, you and Ahmani now go to the same school, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did you first start going to school?
Elliot.
You went to Elliott School until what year?
P3.
To P3, and then after you were in P3, where did you go to school?
Prospect Primary.
Yeah. And did anything special happen in school? You had any special memories in school?
Yes.
When you were in school with your brother at Elliott, you were in school with Ahmani, right? And he graduated in P6, and you stayed there until P3. And when you were in elementary school, did you notice anything about how things were with your brother when you watched him in elementary school? Did you see positive things in elementary school? What did you see people doing when they were in elementary school?
They'd say hi.
Did he have friends in elementary school?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a lot of friends in elementary school. And then when he graduated from elementary school, were you in school with him? No, because he went to middle school. And middle school for him was, say hello to Auntie Esther.
Hi, Auntie Esther.
Yeah, and middle school for Ahmani was very, very tough because there are some children, and if you said something about friendship, yeah? And is it important to be friendly just some of the time or all of the time?
All of the time.
All of the time, okay? And does Daddy tell you to be friends with everybody?
Just be friendly.
Say it again. You don't have to be friends with everybody, but I expect you to be what?
Friendly.
I expect you to be friendly. So if people are lonely, you say hello, you bring them into your circle. And when Ahmani was in middle school, some of the friends that he had in primary school, they would say hello, and we understand it, but some people will pull away. And as you said, when Ahmani is out, does he go into the circle of friends?
Yeah.
He always, even to this day, he's 15 years old, and we go out, Ahmani's by himself. And if he's by himself, is it okay to be by yourself? Yeah. Sometimes you like to be by yourself, right? Okay. But imagine, you can tell me, what would it be like if you go to your school, and what school do you go to now?
Bermuda Institute.
Yeah, you go to Bermuda Institute, and your teacher is watching, well, your former teacher, because you're going to be in grade, what, next year? Going to be in grade 7, and she'll still, I think she might be teaching you 1 or 2 classes. But what would it be like if you didn't have any friends? Would you enjoy that? Going to school and nobody says hello, Ahmya? Yeah. And so a child with autism, though, for many of them, that's not important to them. They're just trying to cope. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to just get through the whole school day. But isn't it easier if somebody holds your hand and just helps you? Yeah, and that's the message that we want to share with everybody today. Just be helpful. Just be kind. Just say hello. Ahmani talks, right? And so we were having a conversation. If you said hi, what would he say? He would say hello. And that's probably all he would say. Yeah. And so then we tell people about the power of 3. So let's have a conversation. Hello. How was your day today?
It was good.
What was good about it?
Well, I done random acts of kindness.
Random acts of kindness. Now, that's why you're wearing this shirt again? And that shirt says Compassion Bermuda, because actions speak louder than words. I think that's something important. All the people here, I believe they understand that actions speak louder than words. And as you communicate to them as a little sister, there are very, very specific actions that you do with your brother. And what are some of the things that you can share that you actually do as a little sister, but you're kind of like a little big sister? What are some of the things that you do?
I talk to him. I watch him play his games. I be with him. I help him.
Yeah, so if he, now let's talk about this. Now that he's a teenager, does he accept your help sometimes, or does he sometimes say, I got this? Or does he accept? What do you say?
I think he accepts.
You think he accepts your help?
Sort
of, kind of. And he does, but there are lots of things he can now do by himself, yeah? And I know that even you sometimes, when we go places, are you nervous sometimes? Yeah. And it's okay. What is like a big thing that you can share that you've recently seen Ahmani do all by himself?
Well, yesterday at camp meeting, he decided that he wanted to go up into the church all by himself.
And that's the first time ever, right? Because normally he would just kind of like hang with us. But as he's growing, he is like feeling more comfortable, right? And a big reason why he's feeling more comfortable is because he gets to meet people that are just like you, that are kind. And you spoke to everybody about the girls at Bermuda Institute and some of the boys who are in P4. They always say hello. They always have an interest. And he has a great teacher. What's her name?
Miss Tuzo.
Yeah, Miss Tuzo is just pure awesome. And she just makes sure that, all of the kids are included, that she takes care of the kids and they get to do the things that they like. Because when you do some things that you like, it makes you feel very
happy.
Yeah, and very comfortable, And so I know that as we share with all of you, autism is something that doesn't go away. It's just an understanding that everybody doesn't take the world in the same way. And one of the things that autism has taught us, and that guy that just joined, his name is William Holdup. I taught him a long time ago. It's very, very nice to see you, William. And so what I do know when it comes to being on the autism spectrum is that all the children that we meet are different. Just like all the people that are watching us are different. There are things that they like, there are things that they don't like. Some of them might not like heights. And so they might climb up something. And I know, like, even with you, there are some new experiences that you're going to have. Like, you play the what?
The violin.
You play the violin. Now, can I play the violin while you're playing it? It doesn't work, okay? And so you have to play the violin all by your what? And have you performed before? In front of lots of people, right? And how do you feel when you perform? Before you go to perform, how are things? Everything's fine, or how do you feel?
Nervous.
You feel nervous, even though you've practiced, right? Even though you've practiced and we've heard the song in the house like just tons of times, you can still feel nervous. And for children on the autism spectrum, it's like feeling nervous for some of them all day long. Now, Ahmani's in our room right here. Do you think he's feeling nervous now? Nah, he's in his own space. He can just relax. He can just totally just be fine with what he's doing. And every time Ahmani goes out the door, do you think he's just going to feel a little bit nervous or get nervous? Yes. Okay. Yes, he is. Okay. And so you saw him for the first time just go into church, and instead of being with us, he said, I'll be up here with the teenage kids. And that was a giant step for him, okay? And even for you, there are going to be lots of giant steps that you have to take, okay? After 12, it's 13. After 13 is 14. And there's a lot of new things for you to learn. And the one thing that you will always be is Ahmani's who?
Little sister.
You will always be Ahmani's little sister. And my expectation of you is going to be to what? To help him. And to always what with those eyes?
Watch.
Always watch, okay? And, you know, Daddy has said to you before, like as a little sister, you know, some people might say, oh, that's pressure. But you know that we got to make sure that he's safe, right? And there are some things, he understands lots of things, but in social situations, that's Ahmani's major challenge. Who's that guy watching?
Uncle Barry.
So say hi to Uncle Barry.
Uncle
All right.
Barry.
And so in social situations, Ahmani might not be as aware of all of the things that are happening. And so you're great at conversation. Ahmani's getting better at conversation. And as you know, does Ahmani start conversations? No. And so the people that are watching, if you know someone who's on the autism spectrum, there's a family that has a child, and they share with you that they're on the autism spectrum, do we want them to pull away from that family or to go and be kind to that family?
To be kind.
Absolutely, because it's not easy. It's not easy. This is not something, it gets better if you do certain things, like if you play with someone and if you show someone how to do things. Do you think they'll eventually get it? Yes, okay, they'll eventually get it. And there are some things that are important. You know, crossing the road safely, that's important, right? So we have to make sure that, you know, a child understands that. And Daddy, you've been with Daddy on a lot of autism presentations, and so we know that do all kids with autism talk? Have you met some kids with autism who don't talk? Yeah, you've met them and they don't talk, but they always talk. Everybody talks with how they act. Like you have here, actions speak louder than words. And some people out there, we need to make sure that they understand what are these actions. When the person does this, you told them you have that little toy in your hand. Okay, still, when Ahmani carried that around, okay, if he was carrying this around when he was 15, a lot of people would wonder why he's carrying it around. But when he carried it around when he was 4, 5, 6, and 7, it would be kind of like an okay thing. You see a boy carrying around a toy or something like that. But if you're 16 and 17 years old and you're carrying around that, people will probably have a question. But as Daddy has taught you, it's always how you ask a question. Right? Do you think people's words can hurt people's feelings?
Yes.
Absolutely. Have you ever seen your brother sad?
Not a lot.
Mm-hmm. You've seen him sad before? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him sad. Have you ever seen? Does he get mad? Does he shout at you? Has he ever mistreated you? Has he ever been mean to you? And that's what makes Ahmani special. 0 times in his life. Now, as a little sister. And it's okay, because has he done anything that maybe, you ever heard of a person, because we wouldn't say this to Ahmani, because if we said to Ahmani, people get on your nerves, do you think he would understand get on your nerves? He knows in science that everybody has what in their body? They have nerves, and he'll be trying to figure out, how do I get on your nerves when your nerves are in your body? So when you talk to Ahmani, how do you talk to him? Do you talk to him in very technical language, or how do you talk to him?
I talk to him with words that he could understand. Don't talk to him in idioms.
Yeah, because idioms are not good for him, you know. And so, hello, Angel. We don't communicate with Ahmani with idioms, and so we just make sure. And we've had to teach you. You know, you've had to become, and a therapist, which means knowing what to do, how to do it. And I want to thank you, 5 that you've been listening to Daddy, and you are just an awesome, like Aunt Tammy said, you've been an awesome little sister, and you know, it's important that you be awesome. And what did that lady say?
So proud of her.
Yeah, she's a very special friend, because when you treat people with kindness, and Daddy has seen you, when there are little children in church, what do you do?
I go play with them, I help them.
And do they like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's starting a, what's that R word? Starting a
Relationship. relationship.
It's starting a relationship, and all of the people out there, that is just so important. You know, sometimes if you just say hello to a person and they say hello, and that's it. But if a kid with autism, you can't do that. They're looking to just get out of that conversation because it doesn't make them feel as comfortable. They don't know what to say next. But with practice, they'll get better and better and better and better. You know, and your brother's starting something new right now. What does he do new right now? Talking what?
Fast.
Talking super fast. Okay, he's like, and he enjoys it. Yeah, he's smiling up there now in his bed. That he's smiling that, and so we know that, you know, that's fun for him, and we allow him in our house to be what? To be him or to be someone else?
To be himself.
We allow him to be himself, and that's just so important. Who's watching?
Mr. Riley.
Yeah.
Mr. Riley.
Yeah, Mr. He had a birthday. Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Maybe we'll sing to him, happy birthday. Yeah, so we'll say happy birthday. He's watching us all the way from Canada, so that's pretty fantastic because his son is also on the autism spectrum. And it's just so important for people to know how a person who is a sister or a brother, how they can feel. Because some of the children who you've been around when we've had our autism parties, they don't talk. They run around and their hands move and they don't speak at all. And you think it's tough for those families? Yes, it'll be very, very tough for us if Ahmani didn't talk at all with words. Because we would have to figure out how we do what? How we help him. Okay, how we help them. And so you've seen some children have their iPads, and so that's how their parents have to communicate. So we're super, super blessed that Ahmani can tell us how he feels, you know. And there are certain things that are challenges. And can you go over there and get his shoes that he wears? We're going to show you, because when you have a child with autism, there are certain things, and if you can just show them because you've had to notice, what is special about his shoes? Point to it so they can see what's special right there.
Lock laces.
Yes, because can Ahmani tie shoelaces?
No.
Mm-mm. He cannot tie shoelaces, and that because his hands have a very difficult time, basically communicating, and so we don't worry about that. Okay, and so these are special laces, and for people that are even like, you know, when you're getting a little older, these shoes can just slide on, and they're elastic, and the lacings are kind of cute. We got lots of different colors and things like this, but this is just a simple adaptation where you never ever have to tie a shoelace again, and they come in all different colors. They're called lock laces, you know. And so, do you have lock laces too?
Yes.
Yeah, you have lock laces too, but you can tie shoes, right? Yeah, because your hands do very well with your dexterity. Your hands can move very well. So as we kind of like bring this to a close, we want to let people know that, you know, autism is the world's #1 pediatric concern. Every 26 minutes around this world, somebody's hearing the news that their child is on the autism spectrum. And Ahmya, is there a cure for this? No. So people will live with autism their entire life. But people who are listening, people who are watching, they can make a big difference. They can make a big difference by helping them with skills. They can help a big difference by just talking. When Ahmani goes to church, how does he get treated when he's at church? He gets treated kind by just a few people or everyone? Yeah, so we want to thank our church family. Auntie Esther is watching. She's kind to him, okay? And there are people that are watching us right now who are teachers. What do teachers need to know about working with children with autism? And you are a little sister of 12 years old with a big brother who has autism. What do you think that teachers, you tell the teachers who are watching, what do they need to do and what do they need to know?
For whenever they assign homework, make it just a little bit easy for them so they can understand it, not all technical and stuff.
So make it simple. So if they had, let's say, they assigned 20 problems. Now, some children on the autism spectrum, they might need to do all 20, or they might want to do all 20. And so they have to learn about autism, don't they? It's imperative. Now, I use those words because we have our vocabulary that we work on, so you know what imperative means, right? What does imperative mean?
Important.
It is important that the whole world really learn about autism. because since it's the world's number one concern, the number one leading pediatric developmental concern, that there's so many children and so many people that are on the autism spectrum. Some people are going to be high functioning, which means they can talk, and there are going to be some people that are low functioning, which means they have very great difficulty with stuff. And have you noticed, like, and I know you've noticed because you live with us, talk to them about what you see your brother eat.
He eats pizza, hot dogs sometimes.
What's his favorite sandwich?
Peanut butter and jelly.
And he would eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich
Every day.
every single day. And we're glad that he's eating, but has he gotten better with his eating now?
Yes.
Yes. So would he try new things?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you're here to actually be one of those people that encourage. Now, you're not the world's greatest eater either. Yeah, so you smile. But at the same time, too, we want people to encourage. So you want teachers to know about autism, research it, study about it. They can talk to us about autism. No one has asked us any questions, and so we want to be able to share with you that if you have any questions for Ahmya or for myself about autism, and especially like as a little sister, growing up with autism and, growing up with a sibling with autism, what is it that you do? And have you ever been in a situation where you've seen anybody mistreat Ahmani and had to say anything to them? And that's a good thing. Some people who are big sisters or little sisters, they've actually been in situations where they've seen something occur that's not so cool. And there are sometimes that some children who are low on the spectrum, because they don't have language and they cannot say what they want, they have a behavior. And so one of the things that we have to let people know is that all behavior speaks. Every single person's behavior speaks. And we want to say hello to Eddie. And Eddie is a cool guy. I met Eddie Jr. On Facebook, really. And he used to go to school here in Bermuda. And what is important is that, kids on the autism spectrum, they would want friends, but they don't know how to what friends. They don't know how to make friends. But you do. In this room, there are things that you have interest in, right? And I will take this off the back shelf. What are these? Is that Shopkins stuff? Some Shopkins stuff. So do you love Shopkins? Yeah. And so if another person has Shopkins, right? The Shopkins are down there. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing. Okay. And this is one of her interests. And there are just so many of these things. But you can talk to children about Shopkins, right? And whatever Ahmani's interested in, does he just start talking about it to other people? He does not start talking about it. Okay. Now, you've been at his school. You talked about Miss Tuzo, who was his 9th grade teacher. And when you go into the room at lunchtime, is he the only boy with autism there? No, there's more children with autism.
5 or 6.
There are at least 5 or 6. And do they feel comfortable in that room?
Yeah.
So it's important that teachers make opportunities for the children to feel comfortable. Do you feel comfortable at your school? Yeah. Do you feel comfortable in this family? Yeah. And if you didn't, Daddy would want you'll be able to tell me. Like, I could look at your face and tell how you're feeling. Can we tell how Ahmani's feeling sometimes? Could we tell if he's sad? Could we tell if he's angry? Does he ever show anger? 0. He doesn't show that he's angry. So we've got to just take a look at how he's reacting to see if he's uncomfortable. But we can know when he's uncomfortable, right? How do we know that he's uncomfortable in a situation? What does he do? Does he stay there? Do we have to go looking for him sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we have to just say, well, where is he? And then that will be Daddy's concern about safety. And that's where you would come in as a little sister. I've told you sometimes find your brother, right? Or to know where he is. Okay? Daddy could be busy doing some other things, and it's important that we know where he is. Now, he knows how to be safe. He has a phone like you, right? Who uses the phone the most, you or him? Okay, because you're more social. right? You're more social, so you'll be texting your friends. What is the favorite text that Ahmani does to me every day? It's one word. Hi.
Hi.
That's what he would say. Hi. He might use a few other words. Hi, we're with Aunt Joanne, right? He might say that. You would say, hi, we're with Aunt Joanne. We're going to the store. We're stopping here. We're buying snacks. Okay? You would send me maybe 40 texts a month. Ahmani will send me one. Hi. That kind of stuff. And so we know that hey, that's Ticey. And she was phenomenal like you. She was an amazing student. Still is an amazing lady, you know. And so I know that as we've shared with everybody about autism, Ahmya is my beautiful Miss Corday. And Miss Corday taught Ahmani when? Do you remember?
P1.
Yeah, she was Ahmani's P1 teacher, you know. And she knows who you are. And we want to thank her for the work that she's done. And she does with children who just present a little bit differently. And that's what people have to understand, that not everybody's going to be the same. Okay? You have interests, you have things that you like, but you have more than one interest, yeah? And sometimes kids with autism have just, hey, hello. Some of them just have one interest, just one, you know? And so our job is to just help them to have a little more things that because there's lots of things to do in life, right? There are lots of things to learn, okay? And because you're a social person and you can talk and share and tell me about your feelings, that I appreciate. We have an autistic son, you have an autistic brother, and there are some situations you know that just might be tough for him, and so you make sure that things are okay. Will he go to a store by himself?
Now he does.
Yeah, now he does. But at first it was like, what did he do all by himself on Friday when it was we get snacks, right? Where did he go? And we stayed outside. What did he buy?
Cupcakes.
Yeah, he bought cupcakes. And the girl that's in there, he knows her, right? And he knows her name and stuff like that. And so, and that's why, like, everybody that's listening, every single person, man, if they could just be kind, if they could just be friendly, if they could just understand that, like, right now it's like 1 in 54 boys have autism, it's like 1 in 68 girls, so they're gonna meet, and they probably have already met people that are on the autism spectrum. But if they could just, you know, say, okay, he just is just, maybe he's talking a little slower, he's not looking at me, giving eye contact. Does Ahmani look at people directly when he's talking? He kind of like looks off to the side, because looking at a person is just a little bit too intense. It's a little too much. Like, we can have a stare contest. And you looked away first. I won. But at the same time too, you could probably look a little longer, right? It's not where you have to look away. And so we want people to understand that, because sometimes in our culture where we live, people say, look at me, and would that be nice? That's not nice for a person that's not autistic. So you can imagine a person who is just getting that, nah. But we still want to always be respectful, right? Okay, and so if we're respectful, we seek to, that he always wears this on his wrist. What's that habit? Seek what?
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
What does it mean?
Listen before you talk.
Listen before you talk. And that's just so important for the adults that are out there, as well as for children to learn, because we learn all the 7 habits in our house, yeah? And we've taught you that ever since you were small. And so I know that Daddy totally respects you as his daughter. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And she always goes 1. Why do you do that?
Well, first my mother and I tell me to say, I love you, and then you go more, most, and then we'll start doing the 1, 1, 1, and then we'll keep on going through the night. And now he shortened it to, whenever we say I love you, we quickly say 1 as fast as we can.
That's cool. And so I appreciate the love that you show to your brother. I appreciate the love that you show to Daddy. I appreciate that you are just like a super respectful young lady, and you know, you make me proud. I am so, like, I tell you all the time, I made you, I helped to make you. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. But as we end, we want to say hello to Jessica. I had Jessica as a student, and she's a beautiful girl too. And I know that Jessica, like, she was the type of person that would be like you. If she saw someone that needed a friend, Jessie would be a friend. She would not stay to herself and not be unkind. And so what we do know, autism is real. You remember Caroline? Yeah, I think her puppet, she used to use your puppet that's up there, I'm not sure. But we know that if you choose to be kind, if you choose to be understanding, understand that, if there is a person that you meet that has autism and they have a brother or a sister, that some days could be very, very tough for them. Some days could be like, and, we're very fortunate as a family that our son, he talks, right? He goes places with us. He's not afraid to get on the airplane. We have to make sure, does he like things that are super, super loud? No, he doesn't like things that are loud, and we allow him to be himself at home. And there are some things that we have to challenge him to do, just like you. You're good at the violin because you practice. And as I said, can I play the violin when you're playing it? No, so that's up to you, to do it. And so there are certain things that we just ask people to consider always doing when they meet somebody that's on the autism spectrum. And you said very early in the video that kindness is important. You also shared with people that when they're in class and they're teaching them, do they need to be talking fast? Do they need to be talking in idioms and riddles? No, we need them to make sure that they say what it is that they mean and what it is that they want to be done, Like your brother, if a teacher gave them 50 math assignments or 50 math problems, he will stay awake the whole night just trying to make sure he did all 50, because if the teacher said that. And whenever somebody says something, does Ahmani always go by the rules? Always. If somebody said something's going to happen, he's just going to say, well, you said this. And does he remember dates?
Yes.
He always remembered dates. And in the morning, what would he say? Today is what?
Today is...
And he would say, today is July so-and-so. And then sometimes he tells us what happened like 5 years ago on that date. I don't remember. But that's something unique about him. And so we accept his uniqueness. We embrace his uniqueness. And there are things that everybody out there who's listening can do well. And then there are some things that they might have a challenge, okay? Do we say things are hard in our family? We never use the word hard at all. We can say that sometimes things are a challenge, okay? And sometimes when things are a challenge, do we just walk away for a little bit? Yeah, we don't just stay there, all right? So as we end, no one has had a question for us, so that means or for Ahmya, so that means we've done a pretty good job of sharing with you. And every Saturday night, I got 2 more Saturday nights that we're going to share with you. And the next Saturday that I do come on, I'm going to actually share with all of you some very, very specific learning tools that you can be used to, and everything you use to help someone who presents uniquely actually helps someone who doesn't present uniquely. And we're going to show you some of the early learning strategies that were used to help Ahmani talk. We're going to show some strategies in reference to how you can deal with behavior, because as we know, autism for some of the children, they're very, very high functioning, and there are some people that might say, and they say sometimes like this, if somebody said nothing's wrong with the person, that's true. There's nothing wrong with people. Sometimes they just might have a challenge. If I take your glasses off, okay, would there be a challenge for you in school?
Yes.
Yeah, because you won't see as well, right? And so, and you can't even read what's on the screen, so you put them back on because that's something that you need, right? And that's the biggest thing that people need to understand, that, being fair doesn't mean you treat everybody the same. It means you give people what they need. That's it, and that's the big message. Give people what they need. And so we've got teachers that are watching, and we want them to learn all they can about autism, because are all autistic children the same? No. Is your brother exactly like all the other kids that he goes to school with that have autism? No. Okay. Some of them are extremely social, but some of them have struggled with a variety of different things. Okay. Your brother has a great memory, and he has a great sister. So I know that I want to thank you all for watching, and if you do click the share so other people can take a listen, Ahmya has shared with you as a little sister the types of things that she wants you as adults to consider. She wants you to consider always being respectful. If you have a question, you can ask it. Teach your children. It's not about pointing fingers. It's not about just saying that person is weird and things like that. It's more about just saying, okay, well, how can I be helpful? Children with autism are going to grow up to be adults. You remember that in town, and this boy stopped me, and I told you he was on the autism spectrum. Yeah, and he was looking for a job, you know, and he, just like everybody, all of these adults here. Do you think they're working? Yeah, most of them are. Okay, now there might be one or two that have already created careers in such a way that, you know, going to work is something that like going to a job and getting paid. They're set up, but most of the people who are watching us right now are working. Caroline, who's watching, she's finished high school and she's going to college. Okay, are you going to go to college? Yeah, and tell everybody, what do you think you want to be?
An artist or an inventor.
An artist or an inventor. And is that going to require hard work?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to require hard work. Okay, and can you do it? Absolutely. We're a family that says we can do it, and we know that if everybody out there has that attitude about, yes, let's taking a look at how we can do it. And so some things sometimes just have to be done a little bit differently. That's it. Like if I had to do your hair, guaranteed it would be different, because daddy's not as good as mommy or Aunt Desireen, right? Okay, and because that's their skill, and everybody has skill. So we want to thank you for listening, and again, next Saturday I'm going to have with me all of these kinds of tools that churches, children, adults, and all people can use to consider as you work with children who would be, we can say, are typical, and also for children who just present a little bit differently, because there are always things that you can do. So as I teach my kids, we want you to be proactive. We want you to begin with the end in mind. We want you to put first things first. Seek first to understand. Think win-win, yeah. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Synergize, and sharpen the saw. Those are the 7 habits. We practice them each and every day in this particular house. We want to say peace, love, and happiness and kindness. And we want you to have a safe week, have a safe evening. We thank you for sharing the video, for those of you who did. Autism is real. And for some people, it's really, really tough, you know, and we are blessed as a family to have love. We're blessed to have you. I can't just tell you how important you are to me, to mommy, and to your brother, and to all the people in the world. You do super well in school, and we just appreciate you. So with that, let's wave and say goodbye. We'll see you later. Thanks so much.